because I could never, never change.
So Melba Moore is inside the building. You're listening to Melba Moore alongside Freddie Jackson, just a little bit more. I just want to say good night to the sweet voice of a lady. And this lady has been singing from... Melba, could you tell me what year you started singing?
No.
Good evening to Melba Moore. How are you, Melba?
How are you? Nice of you to have me. Thank you so much. I was listening to you before we got on, and thank you for all the background and the good kudos. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I mean, I was saying to Ron, and I must say publicly thanks to Ron, your manager, right?
Yes.
Right, for keeping the link. Melba, you guys did it so professionally. It's not funny, and I loved it. Ron was right there, making sure that everything was everything to make sure that I get a chance to speak with you. Yeah, Melba?
Yeah.
Yes, man. Good. So how are you doing?
Me?
Yeah, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I thought you were talking about Ron. I was just going to chime in and say, yep, I got a great manager. He's wonderful.
Oh, I know. He's trust me, he's a nice guy. But Melba, listen, if you would start your career today, as compared back to back in the days, what would you have done differently?
Well, first of all, we didn't have internet.
Okay.
So I probably would have studied business because you have to do everything yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, you have to put the team together yourself. That's the biggest difference I see.
Mm-hmm.
You had big record companies, you still do, but you had quite a few, and they put together a marketing team, songwriter, producer team, A&R team, PR team, and, of course, you had your agents and your managers. You had a real big team of people to actually run each artist's career. And this way, a lot of it can be outsourced, so it's really quite different.
Right. When did it all started for you, Melba?
I guess at home, after my mother was a professional singer, so she traveled. Even when I was very small, she traveled around the country singing as a professional singer. But it didn't start for me then. It started when she married my stepdad, who's a musician, and he had a son and a daughter, and we all took piano lessons, and music became really the centerpiece of our lives. And I went then, got really just, I guess, intimately acquainted with music, and my mother and father rehearsed at home, and really fell in love with music and singing, and of course did it in junior high school. Then I went to Art and Music High School in Newark, New Jersey. That's where we moved to. I started my life out in New York City, Manhattan, and then I studied music education at Montclair Teachers University. Then I taught music in the public schools, and then I told my parents, well, I love teaching, but I really want to see if I could be an artist. And they helped me to get started into the industry. And I started as a backup singer, studio singer.
Okay.
And from there, I got my first Broadway play, which was the musical Hair, the Broadway musical Hair.
Right.
And then from there, I went directly to. I had 2 weeks hiatus, and then went directly to my second Broadway show, which was Pearly. Which is Broadway musical. This gave me a Tony Award. And then after that, some years later, I did Timbuktu, and then some years after that, I did Les Miserables. So I've had really quite an illustrious career on Broadway. But then I started when I married my now ex-husband. He was a great manager too. Okay. And he really got me established as a recording artist, and that's why you hear Freddie Jackson and all the music that you've been playing.
Right. What led you, though, Melba, to become a teacher?
My parents told me to get a real job. They were musicians, and I think they were really concerned that we didn't have a good financial base or an educational base. They wanted some kind of security for all of us. So I mean, I really followed their admonition.
Right, right.
And then after I did it, and I really liked it, but I'd already really fallen in love with music.
Right.
And so I got my parents' permission to help me to try to get into the industry. My stepfather is going to be 99, March 20th,
Wow.
and he's still disappointed that I didn't stay in teaching school.
Seriously, Melba.
Well, he's proud of me. I'm joking,
I know.
but he really, they're from back in the day. That was a very respectable job. It was a government job. They knew that you were going to be secure and respected. Yeah.
Ah, boy. Was your voice trained, or was it just a natural from birth?
Well, I majored in voice in arts high school, art and music high school. So I first started as a trained musician playing the piano, but then I majored in vocal music in high school, and I majored in music education and vocal music in Montclair University. Yeah, I'm a trained musician, and I taught music.
Okay. Based on what you have seen over the years, Melba, because you have spent several years doing music, based on what I have read and seen, would you encourage an individual to become or involve in music?
Oh, absolutely. It's an adventurous life, and I think the arts are just absolutely so vital to the development of your soul and your spirit and your communication with other people. Even if you're not going to be like a professional trained musician, to be involved in the in the arts, period, just expands your just the human experience so much. I think that's why we fall in love with the arts, whether we are artists or not. It has a kind of a magnetism to it. And I think that's wonderful for everybody to experience, even if you don't wind up trying to be a star or a professional musician. I think it's good for everybody.
In your career, like everyone else, there has been high points and low. Have you ever regretted being a star?
That's a cute question. Have I ever regretted being a star? Well, I can't say that I've regretted being a star, but it's not easy. I think, for one thing, when you have some successes and you start to kind of figure out what it's all about, it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of other things that go along with it that you never had a clue, because when you're watching people on the stage or in a show or on TV or on the radio, you only see the part that they show you.
Right.
And you don't know the rest of it that goes into it, and all the human experiences that are part of it, and that, this is a part of life. It's not just, I guess, it's not just show business. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah. You were the first, I must tell my listeners, that you were the first African American to replace a white actress on Broadway. How was it for you at that stage?
Well, very bizarre and different.
And can I tell you, Melba, just to interject, that my head swell when I say this. It is something that I applaud you 100%. It's kind of nice to know that you were there. You were the person to replace a white actress on Broadway. I mean, tell me, just elaborate for me how good that was, the feeling.
Well, I have a kind of a better appreciation for it right now. As a matter of fact, when you say that, because you can look back and see a little bit clearer what it really meant, actually a little bit more than when you're going through it. And the way that it happened, it's not like I auditioned for the part or that I knew really what I was getting into. It's just you're kind of on the spot there, and the opportunity comes, and you say, okay, yeah, well, I'll give it a try. And then you're up there, and you're actually really learning on the job. Then afterwards, you realize, oh, my gosh, this has always been done by a white person. I'm not white.
Right.
It kind of dawns on you that something really special has happened. It's kind of shocking.
Right. And that was what? Here, right?
That was the Broadway musical
Yeah,
Hair.
right.
Yeah.
Is acting for you just as enjoyable as it's singing?
I can't say no. It's just very, very different, and all of the wonderful, historical, you know, opportunities I've had in Broadway theater were always surprises to me. I didn't study acting. I didn't know there would ever be in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and so I think I have an affinity, really more for music. Wouldn't say that I like it more, I love it more, but I
Right,
feel like, and it began in my family, so you have a connection there where music is the centerpiece of your relationships, and
right,
I feel like that's kind of the center of my soul. Music
right,
is.
right. I just want to just tell my listeners, Melba, that I'm speaking to the sweetest, one of the sweetest voice on this planet. This lady is one of the best female singers that I have known around, and she has one of the sweetest voice. And based on some of the songs that I'm playing, you might have heard the high notes that. Speaking about the high note, Melba, that note. You are the only person on the planet that can hold a note for over 23 seconds, right?
No, I'm not the only person.
Oh, please, Melba. You're
I
just.
remind I remind everybody that I'm doing it so y'all know me.
No, seriously. No, I think you're the only person on this planet that can go over 23 seconds in holding a note.
No, lots of people can do it. They just don't do it as often as I do.
Oh, my
I don't know. As I was developing my style, that kind of popped out, and it's there. But I'm definitely not the only one that can do it. No.
My gosh. But how do you do it, though, Melba?
Well, it started with kind of just building up stamina and trying to find my style and experimenting with things and trying to expand my range, especially like I guess what we call the belting range, from where you're speaking tones that you can sing there and you can sing out loud. But I was trying to sing higher and higher and higher, but sing loud. And I finally got strong enough one day. It popped out there, and I think from working out and trying so hard for so long, it got really strong, and it sounded like it was coming from across the room. It's like it's you know how you throw your you don't know how you throw your voice, but like it sounded like somebody was throwing their voice. It didn't. It was easy for the first time, and it didn't feel like I was doing it. And so I kept holding it to find out where was it coming from. And then once I discovered I could do it, I kept doing it.
Oh my God. There is, when I was growing up, Melba, there was this popular statement that you were at a show and you started to hold a note and windows start cracking. Is that true? Glasses
I'd like to lie and say yes, but no.
Oh my
That was the Memorex commercial with Ella Fitzgerald. That wasn't me.
Can you still maintain that note, Melba?
Oh yeah, I'm saying it like it's easy, but actually it is for me. But no, yeah, I'm blessed to be in very, very good vocal shape and physical shape, and I can still do it. It's not always true of everybody. Different things happen to the body over the years as it changes, but I still have everything. Praise God.
Oh my, that is so good. All right, you have done both acting and singing. How do you balance both?
Well, actually, I suppose I focus more on music because I think that's what I naturally am, and you can do more in terms of actual physical work by continuing to have music out all the time. And for me, acting is something that I kind of have to depart from what I'm doing and go pursue that. And if I were, say, maybe like a Felicia Rashad, I would do that, and I would kind of maybe abandon singing. I would choose between the two. But it seems that as I continue to have good success at recordings, I still get invited to do other theatrical and film projects as well.
My. So you have some new materials. Let's talk about those new stuff.
Okay.
What's happening?
Oh, me?
Yes. You have
Okay. All right. Well,
you have some new stuff putting out now, Melba, because I have received some from Ron.
okay.
So talk to me.
All right. All right. Well, I have a new single called "Just Dance,"
Mhm.
and it's written and produced by Dominic McFadden
Mhm.
and his partner, Phone Notes. That's what he calls himself.
Mhm.
And just as a point of information, Dominic McFadden happens to be the son of Gene McFadden,
Mhm.
formerly of McFadden and Whitehead. Both of them have passed away now, but he seems to have inherited his father's talent for writing songs and producing. So I think that's kind of an interesting thing. And they're up-and-coming songwriters, but I think they're excellent.
Right. Wow. Well, trust me, that was one of the first songs that I played today, and I must tell you, you're going to go places with this one, Melba. You're going to go places.
That's good.
I know.
That's
I know.
thank you.
I
That
know.
means you like it?
Of course, I love it. You were off the scene.
great.
You were off the scene for a little while, though, Melba. What was happening when we weren't hearing Melba Moore?
Some serious challenges that I had to overcome. So basically what I did was start over.
Mm-hmm.
I got a brand new manager in Ron Richardson,
Right.
and we started to
Very
redirect
good
my
manager.
career and started over.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
You know, and meantime, so many things had changed in the industry, so we just totally revamped and started again.
Oh, okay. As Melba Moore, you have done all the music and acting. What more for Melba Moore?
Well, I'm getting ready to remount a one-woman play of my life story called Still Standing, the Melba Moore story.
Mm-hmm.
It's a one-woman play with music, and that will tour theaters around the country.
Wow. Gosh, Melba, you know you can't leave us tonight without holding that note for that long, right?
Oh, no, I don't do that a cappella without music, without a song. Without naked. I can't say no naked notes.
Oh, you can't. No, seriously, I know you can. I know you can
I
deal
can't
with
say
it.
no naked notes.
I know you can deal with the nakedness, Melba. Trust me. Just remind, ladies and gentlemen, Melba Moore, one of the star. I mean, trust me, Melba. I was saying to Ron over the week that growing up in Jamaica, I personally grew up on most of your songs because don't think that I am actually pretending when I did say that you have one of the sweetest voice. I grew up listening to Melba Moore, and it has always been a pleasure to listen a Melba Moore song because I always tend to want to wait for that high note, that pitch. And when I started to, and Melba, you don't know how glad and happy I am to get the chance to talk to you. Because when I listen to, when you start that high note, I always say to my friends around me, listen, that is my girl. I want you to listen the note that she is going to take to that height. And I'm talking about this from way back, Melba.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
So I just want to
You
say,
make them listen?
trust me, and listen. I have heard of you coming into Jamaica, and you have done shows that people just get. You know what I mean? And Ron and myself, we were talking about getting things. I mean, happening for a Melba Moore back in Jamaica. I know Jamaicans love a Melba Moore, so Melba Moore. It is very insulting if I say to you the sky is the limit because you are in the sky. You are in there. You are above. I mean, the voice that you have, Melba Moore, and I just want, and all of this I'm saying to you is not flattery. It is coming from the heart. You have a voice, and it's very obvious that you have cherished that voice, and I know you will intend to continue to cherish the voice that you have. Just remember that Dezzie say this to you tonight, that a lot of people are relying on the music that a Melba Moore is putting out.
Well, thank you for the encouragement. And Ron and I are trying very hard to make sure that we please people, that it's good quality, and that it's everything that it was before, and hopefully more. I thank you for the encouragement.
You're welcome. And Melba, take good care of yourself. And of course, we will continue to communicate.
And guess what?
Oh my gosh! Melba Moore.
It's not long, but it's high.
It is very high, very high. Melba, take good care of yourself. And from Culture Mix Radio, you just continue to do what you're doing. Love you.
You too. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Remember when we used to know each other's names, hanging out all day long and playing silly games. Let's take it back to the good times music could bring. Let's get back to love. When we could dance and sing, we never worried about no arguing, no guns or fighting. We used to care about our children, now they're slowly dying. Let's take it back to the good times music could bring. Let's get back to love. When we could dance and sing. If we just dance, if we just sing, we can make the world live in harmony. If we just dance, if we just sing.
This is Melba Moore's latest one.
If we just dance,
Just Dance.
we can make the world live.
Man, what an interview. I loved it.
If we just sing,
Really down to earth, lady. I wonder if this lady is a Jamaican. Love you, Melba Moore. Love you, love you, love you.
music is love, music is one. Let's take it back to the good times music could bring. Let's get back to love. When we could dance and sing, we never worried about no arguing, no guns or fighting. We used to care about our children, now they're slowly dying. Let's take it back to the good times music could bring. Let's get back to love. When we could dance and sing. If we just dance, if we just sing, we can make the world live in harmony. If we just dance, if we just sing, we can make the world live in harmony. If we just dance, if we just sing.
The station with the best music. Best music.
I love the music.
Best music.
Turn the music up. Turn the music up. DJ. Turn the music up. Turn the music up. If we just dance, if we just sing, we can make the world live in harmony. If we just dance, if we just sing, we can make the world live in harmony. If we just dance, if we just sing, we can make the world live in harmony. If we just dance,
Melba Moore, Just Dance, Just Dance. 25 after 8 o'clock.
just dance, if we just sing.
Now, seriously, if you just join us, you have missed an interview with Melba Moore on Culture Mix Radio. What more can you ask for?
We can make the world
This is the latest from Melba Moore. Just Dance.
we can make the world live in harmony. Come on, come on and dance. We can make the world live in dance.
Supreme Attack. You don't know sense, Culture Mix Radio with DJ Dezzie. Supreme lash it to the world.
Make the world live in harmony.
I just want to say good night to Melba Moore and her family. Mr. Ron, thanks a million, my brethren. Thanks a million for making the link possible. This could not happen without you. And I am really, really happy that this took place. You know what I mean? I felt like I was speaking with my sister. You know, the love. I was feeling that love, that bond coming from a renowned international singer. An international singer. Melba Moore, thanks a million for everything. I love you. And continue to climb, you know what I mean? Because the sky is the limit for you, all right?